So, dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, please. And while you're focusing to the sound, you can mentally relax your body and relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts and do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So bring attention to your body, please, and observe head to toes yourself and recite mentally, Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. So take a moment and determine yourself. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, bring attention to your whole body and feel your whole body as one. Observe yourself, see how your posture, how you feel your body. Get a very clear mental image. And bring your attention to your lower part of the body. Observe and see, is there any strong tightness, heaviness, any sensation, any notable feelings? Just recognize, don't interfere with it. Get a very closer look about the feelings or the sensation, whatever you recognize, without interfering to it or without holding as any relationship, without build up any relationship to the feelings. Just observe it. Don't personalize whatever the sensation or the feelings you recognize. Bring attention to your lower back area. Observe carefully, gently. See, is there any sensation, tightness, heaviness? And upper back and shoulders. Now bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And deeply and gently breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. So if it is possible, keep unmovable posture and slowly bring your attention to the sensation of inhalation and exhalation and allow it to happen naturally itself, but keep the awareness, attention, and recognize when the inhalation happens, recognize it as inhalation. When the exhalation happens, recognize it as exhalation. Do nothing extra. If your mind go here and there, if any thoughts disturb, again and again, with the effort, bring your attention towards the sensation of inhalation and exhalation and settle down with it. If any other thoughts come to your mind, just recognize this is not the moment to think about it. You're sitting here to practice this meditation. So remind yourself and bring your attention to the sensation. Do nothing extra. Bring little bit more attention and follow the entire continuation of the inhalation and exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Be aware yourself, little by little. Increase your awareness rather than settling down. Each and every inhalation and exhalation has its own character, different behavior. So observe deeply and see, is it possible for you to experience that difference? If it is not, just keep focus, keep observe. You don't need to create anything. So drop all the methods, patterns, any techniques. Don't depend on your experience or knowledge. Completely be free from all the memory. Just keep only with the awareness. So see what you experience right now, right here. And what happening to what you observe, and also to observer, what you perceive and perceiver, and what you recognize and also recognizer. Deeply, thoroughly observe and see what you experience moment by moment. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this, with clear intention, mentally recite after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, from generations to generations in these human civilizations, as ordinary human beings, we have some question with us. It's kind of like a puzzle, and it hand over to from generations to generations. And all the spiritual teachings based with this puzzle. And that is who I am, from where I come from, where I go, and why this happened to me, and how this happened to me. So these questions always in our mind. And you have to remember, why then these generations to generations still, they cannot find us exact clear solution, answer for these questions. Why these new religions come and try to explain in different ways, different theories, and trying to give answers to this. Even as you know, in this world, look at this, how this human being, came this journey, developing this all the outside world with these material things. Even with our physical and psychological world also, we came a long journey, and we have some certain developments with us. But still, why deeply we have this question still? Why, even though that we have a lot of spiritual teachings, even though people are capable to understand many things, and even people able to develop many things around them, why still these questions keep coming? Why sometimes ourselves we ask this? Because there is something we didn't understand. That what we're missing is nothingness. That we think there is somebody exists. When you have that idea, you holding a point and start to look why this happened to me. Because as me, once you hold something, when you develop a self-centered idea, and then what will happen? From that point, it become an epicenter. From that point, you start to look around you. And from where I come. And you think, so see, the people think there's a start point. And where we go, there is an ending point. So like that, we always question this everything with the self-centered mind. But how about this? If you come to a point to understand, you are a nobody. There is something exists deeper underneath this all, that is nothingness. That's why there is no answer for this thing. That's why anybody, anything can become an answer for this. Because it come out of nothingness. But people don't want to accept it. Just accepting on the surface level also, it doesn't work. You have to have certain understanding. But remember in your life, remind yourself, reflect on that, this every day. What is that? End of this all, there is nothing. If you can digest that, if you can grab that, if you can hold it to that, these questions, this puzzle, anymore not going to come with you. But if you start to get into find there is something, remember that something create all other everything. That something, from where this something come? Why you build? Why that come? It come to us. There is something. Because that something come when the something is wrong with the mind. That is where that something comes. When there is something wrong in your mind, then out of that, always you're going to experience something. So let's get into that. Just a physical simile, to make it very simple. So you drive your car. And while you're driving, you want to turn, you want to take a right turn. So you put the signal. And then you try to turn to right, but if it go to left. Right away, what you understand. You recognize there's something wrong with this car. And then, so we have many these material things around us. Just imagine there is a grinding machine, blender. So the blender is the very duty of it, the very mechanism of it is blending. So you put something and it doesn't blend. Just keep the same, like separately, things separately, you can recognize. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't break to pieces, parts. It doesn't blend each other. Then you recognize there's something wrong with this blender. So like that, you can bring any kind of material things. And according to that, whatever the duty or the responsibility or the mechanism, if it doesn't function in that mechanism, then you know there is something wrong with it. So your TV, your remote, and within day-to-day life, maybe many times you hear this, you put the button, your remote, and maybe you want to get the channel 6, but it doesn't come. It come channel 5. Then you think something wrong with this. Maybe you call the cable company and tell, there's something wrong with this remote. So like that, in that material world. Then how about the physical world? How about the people? And when we are very conditioned living beings in this world, with the culture, tradition, religions, politics, believing system, following systems. So like that, we are very cultured with many informations. So then in day-to-day life, and according to that conditions, we develop expectations towards each other. When that expectations doesn't meet each other, then what we say, there's something wrong with this person. What's wrong with you? We always hear this. So then we have to understand when things doesn't work the way we want, what we need, what we recognize, there is something wrong with it. When things doesn't work, doesn't function according to the way it inbuilt or it created or it recognized or according to expectations, if it doesn't work, there's something wrong with it. It's very simple understanding. So then you come to meditation and you get a primary mental object. So our mind always needs objects. So it depends on names and forms. So whatever, that always we go with the names and forms. So that's why we need the primary mental object in the beginning to develop our concentration or awareness or the sati or the clarity or the undisturbed mind or the samadhi or the tranquility state. So then you select your breathing as a primary mental object. And sometimes people say, oh, you don't need that. You just close your eyes, you go to the blank space. Maybe people do that kind of things, but maybe there's a possibility. But you're getting a primary mental object, it's a very kind of like the good simile is kind of like the kite. You hold the thread and then it helps to, with the wind that to the kite, the kite go higher, higher, higher. But it needs the help out of the thread. So if you lose it, if you release the thread, what will happen to the kite? Itself cannot survive from the wind. So our mind the same in the beginning. Our mind cannot exist without names or the forms in a very conventional level of mind. And you cannot handle it. And that's why when difficulties come, people very easily get out of the mind. Why? Because otherwise, if you don't develop enough understanding then you cannot face for that. That's why people get into drinking, alcohol, drugs, because for their conventional mind, they cannot handle. Then right away, what happens? Once they drink this everything, it's kind of like, that the helpless kite, it's with the wind, anything can happen. Because they have no option. And maybe somebody giving hard time, that cannot handle. So then what happened? Get a drink. And then, you don't hear anything anymore. So, and sometimes people cannot handle the difficulties, and then they drink, they get drunk, they get high, and they lose their awareness. Why? Because they cannot handle. And sometimes people cannot handle the happiness. So what they do? They lose their awareness. Why? Because they cannot handle it. So our mind, sometimes meditation also, for some people, it's kind of like a drugs. They close their eyes, or they keep open their eyes, and they get connected to their body. Maybe they get into mental object, and then they get lost. They want to get lost in that moment. They feel separation from these conventional things, these conditional things, and then they think that is good for them. But this is not like that. So that's why you get a very clear primary mental object. Whatever happening right now, right here, not related to past or the future. Right now, right here. And within your own body. So one of the best thing is the sensation in the breathing. And you're not going to miss that. It's very simple, available 24/7, and you have the trust on it. You cannot have any doubt. Am I inhale or exhale? Is this real? No, it's naturally, deeply, you are connected to that. You are itself, your inhalation, exhalation. So then you get that primary mental object and keep observe. So now you have intention to recognize the sensation without doing anything, manipulating, interference. Just you bring your attention and observe your own inhalation, exhalation, not somebody else. So now you try yourself, deeply inhale, exhale, and you can feel it. Now you know it happening. Okay, you bring the attention. So it is not a magic. It's very simple. So once you bring the attention and you observe and see. So when you observe, in this, one time you feel inhalation, second time you feel inhalation. Now your intention is observing inhalation, exhalation, then right away your mind somewhere else. Your mind go itself somewhere else. And suddenly some other thoughts come to you. See, now your intention to observe the inhalation, exhalation, the mind goes somewhere else. Or then go back to the beginning, that the simile I told. So you want to drive, and you're driving, you want to get a right turn. If your car go to the left, what you tell yourself? There's something wrong with this car. So see, now you want to bring the attention to the sensation of inhalation, exhalation, and you keep focusing to it. And if the mind goes somewhere else, what you have to understand? There's something wrong with your mind. If you understand it, that is the beginning of your enlightenment. If you very clearly recognize that is the you start to see the light end of the tunnel. That is where you start to get into your own practice, not somebody else. Because remember, they need to come to the Buddha's teaching that it is not, you don't practice to anybody else. And this all the spiritual development and all the teachings based with to give a very clear understanding regarding your own life. So then the very primary purpose in this Buddha's teaching, and you understand it yourself and you end your own suffering. So that's why the recognizing this within yourself and the very nature of the mind, behavior of the mind is very important. So then if you are able to bring your attention and keep the awareness towards the sensation, and if the mind stay there, you good. You even no need to hear this. You can move forward and do whatever you want. But in case if you close your eyes or open your eyes or anytime, anywhere, you want to observe, just you can test yourself. And you want to observe your inhalation, exhalation, you bring your attention and you keep focus. And 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, try. If the mind disappears, if the mind goes somewhere else, bring something suddenly, and then you have to remember, you cannot go with this mind. You have to do something. So that doing itself, we call the cultivation of the mind, because you need some cultivation. You need some development in you. You cannot go with this behavior. You cannot go with the mind that behave itself without listening to your awareness. So then how you can do it? That's why you have to practice meditation. By listening itself, we have power to understand certain things. But in a certain level, if you very clearly see the mind, you have to understand that recognizing this, that there is something wrong with us, will help us to get to the right path. That's why we have all this question and the puzzle keep coming with us, and in the future, it's going to happen. So when it comes to the mind, there are three kind of elements, and there are in three ways the mind functions. So one is thinking mind, with our perception, with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind itself. So with the information that we gather, averagely, more than 70,000 separate thoughts happening in an ordinary mind. So as example, it's like separate things means, maybe you can start to think about this pen, but it's a one object. And then the pen and the cup, bottle, phone, computer, table, so like that. Averagely, ordinary person, 70,000 objects you gather per day. Just imagine. How about now with the social medias, the YouTube, the computer things, and these things, and it become more and more and more higher. So then your thinking mind always, always blah, 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 blah inside your mind. It's keep working non-stop. So that's why in a certain level, if the mind interfere with that thinking mind, if the mind function in that level, what happened? That other level of functioning, the mental behavior, go to kind of like a neutral moment. It doesn't disappear. It's there, but not activated. So then when you keep seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, when your senses interfere with something, your mind go with it. That is a one level of mind. And another element in this mind function is feeling. And when it comes to feelings, there are two ways. One feeling is the awareness. Another feeling, emotions. So the feelings work in two different ways. Emotions and the awareness. So when it comes to emotions, and as you know, there are good and bad, and it's another way, the energy that go in the motion and develop a pattern, and then that in a certain level we become conditioned to that emotions, and that's why other people knows how to push the buttons to make us happy, sad, worry, painful, disappointed. So like that. Why? Because we depend on that conditions, that feelings. So that is emotion. The awareness also kind of like a feeling. As example, that this here, you feel this touch. So that it's giving a feeling. And it doesn't bring the emotions, but that recognition, this pen giving this, is develop your awareness. So then that way, you have feelings and the awareness. So then rather than developing the emotions, you have to have a mechanism to develop the awareness. So then two different natures, elements, function. One is thinking, another one is feelings. So this all mind. But the thing is this, when the thinking activate, your feeling and the emotions and the awareness disappear. When the feeling activate, the thinking disappear, and it come to it upgrade, it go to another level of recognition that is called awareness or the emotions. Once the mind interfere with the emotions or the awareness, you get out of the thinking mind. So then you have to remember this layer by layer happening. When the one layer activate, other things become neutral. So the third level of the mind or the behavior of the mind, the element, the function, recognition. In the vipassana, so the tranquility meditation, what the tranquility meditation does, the tranquility meditation allow you to using the thinking mind to get into the feelings. And once you get into the feelings, to get into the recognition, and you develop the vipassana meditation. That's why it's called analytical meditation. That's why it's called insight meditation. So recognition what? Recognition right now, right here, what is happening to you. So for that, you need the perception and the perceiver. So then you interrogate both these two things. So once you integrate, once you make it two together, then you recognize this moment by moment, moment by moment, this all happening. So practicing meditation is you use this whole, the method, the elements, the function of your entire mind or the brain or the heart, all this thinking pattern or awareness or the emotions, this everything. And you don't resist because you cannot escape from you. That is what people does through the drugs and the alcohol or getting high. And sometimes when people that kind of like in a mentally also get into high mental state and become kind of like a neutral and escape from the recognition. So that's why in tranquility state, some people addicted to get into high mental powers and stay there in the dhyana or the jhana or the satori. So kind of like they get into a certain mental state. But the vipassana is not like that. You're not going to mesmerize by the result of your own practice. You're going to become more and more and more awake and recognize that what you experience. So that's why you have to use your own mind and without getting help from anything. That's why when it comes to the Buddha's main purpose, it's giving the self-realization. Know thyself. Once you recognize that, and that is the best that you can give to yourself. Remember this everything. And day by day, you have seen yourself, whatever around us. This everything we have to let go. So then ourselves, once we understand this, once we experience this, then you know that yourself, that whatever is in the surface level of mind, this thinking mind, the feeling, the emotion mind, even the awareness that we recognize in day-to-day life is the shallow level of living. But deeply, there is something beyond this all, that giving the direct perception and the clear understanding, which we call the vipassana level of understanding or the clear comprehension and the clear recognition. So once you experience that, then you understand other people may not going to get that. Why? Because they may thinking in the living in the functioning level of thinking mind and the element of the thinking mind, and maybe with the feelings, with the emotions, maybe with the awareness. So then that is where you have the compassion, because you're not going to argue with them, you're not going to fight with them, you're not going to resist them, you're not going to criticize them. Why? Because you know what you understood is different. And that is where you try to help them. And how? So when it comes to that, when it comes to the loving kindness meditation, in the vipassana level of loving kindness meditation, just as example, when you wish your regarding others, may all living beings be well and happy. you can have a wish regarding their conventional life, conditional life. So whatever they want, may they have it, or kind of like that. But when you come to this recognition, and with that recognition, when you have a wish, thinking about others, may all living beings be well and happy. Deeply you have intention. May they have this wisdom that which you go, which you recognize. So once you experience that, you're not going to become arrogant, and you're not trying to push or convert others like that, because you know you cannot get it like that way. So you have to be more relaxed and calm and slow down, and deeply, little by little, observe in the very first level yourself. There is something wrong with your mind. Otherwise, you cannot get it. What is that wrong? That wrong is your mind go with its own way, and it's not listening to your inner request. So then that is where you practice to bring your mind to that level. So that is the purpose of practicing meditation. So in the tranquility meditation, so you develop your thinking mind, or think the element, the thing functioning with the thinking or the thoughts and the feeling, to bring it to one primary mental object. So once you settle down there, you deeply analyze and recognize, and without thinking or the feelings, and it give the connection to the ultimate truth happening right now, right here. That is nothing but impermanent, unsatisfactory nature, and selflessness. So get the last one, selflessness. So there is no one exists within us. And the end of this all, there is nothing. Once you get that, you don't look why this happened to me, from where I come from where I go, and why I am here like this. So you're not going to look for that. Why? Because you see things happen according to necessary conditions and environment. Once you have that, you get out of the tangle, you get out of the puzzle. So I hope these little guidelines will help for you to move forward and find the answer to your puzzle. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Yes.